Man. 95s, right?
Cover me with pride, ain't no disguise when I'm covered up. I thank God I'm with a squad that ain't no runner-up. We serve a power that'll kill you if you fuck with us. Fair warning, giving heads up like this uppercut. We ain't with that sucker stuff. If you ain't trying to knuckle up, then you better simmer down. They act like they gon' buckle up and spin a block on us. Niggas love fucking acting tough until we back them up. We don't budge, but you acting stuck. Stand for a cause, but we'll fall on them if we must. Here preparing war, we gon' roar, ain't no packing up. Why you mad at us? Cause your lies ain't adding up. Well, pay me as a villain, I ain't tripping. Listen, I be feeling old, but I stay away from old feelings. No feelings for them old hoes. They some gold diggers, gold figures. So bitter, why my soul shimmer from that gold in it. I'm that nigga from what I was told. I'm cold with it. Squad looking like a jungle gym. Got all these pros in it. School real like some highlights. We on the road winning. Take this shit to yo city. Hop out, lead a road dinner. Cracking pavements. Don't give a fuck like a whole menace. Throwing bows, go see yo dentist. Yaka Rob is the goal. Fight won't even last a whole minute. Nigga, we gon' bring your shit back on one here. No bitchin'. We ain't gotta go and get no straps. Ain't even worth killing. Keep going, but I still beat. You get censored out. Cold when I'm lit. They want the smoke. Bring them senses out. Black stick. Niggas talking slick. Go across your mouth. Fear God. Stand before the judge. Throw them charges out. Brotherhood I trust. And only that I'm betting on the house. Better brother like Daniel Aller to see what you about. Troops gon' storm out. This truth gotta get out. The arson up in this house. This booth gotta get doused. I'm rolling with the generals that came before me in the school. This life is like a bike and I'm just riding like a in the two. We spin a block, get a salute, then we marching with the troops. We ain't posted on the stoop, we gon' do what we gon' do. You bastard, this is Sabbath, yeah, we out at camp. We going up, but we ain't going off, cause this is not a ramp. So all you niggas talking, put your hours in. Fit them boots that I was in, step into that lion den. Front line with no cowards, and they talk about a priest, but they can't do what the prophets can. They all about the propaganda. You turn your back for a stack, that's some shit I can't stand. You choosing that over heaven, shit, money your defense, but brotherhood is a weapon. Niggas switching sides, I could never. Class of 2018, that's my squad forever. Being the op to the gang, man, that shit ain't clever. These niggas will pull up and snap like a fucking lever. Lock.
What's good now? I'm about to get young. Pull up
Yeah, change for the belly, but that old I'm trying to get this song right. Yeah, I changed for the better. Put that old nigga in the shredder. But however, I could never take a step back for my pleasure. Change the weather. Ruger 5'7" on my dresser. Clip full with a lot of pressure. I forget that I made her special. I don't care, so I don't remember. Hitting treasures in my lecture. New texture, but the same message. Think rich, no think better. Chevy boy, I don't need a Porsche. Bucket clean and I feed the horse. Pull up on me, lose a bitch, ain't nothing to me. Ben Simmons, they ain't fucking with me. Take sides, you was set hopping. Heat on, you was flip flopping. On the come up, then he start watching. We open doors like fuck knocking. Yeah, she see it and then don't believe it. Spit fire in my heart anemic. Make a choice, get in the van. Taking ground and become a man. You pussy, I'm straightforward. Take orders, give orders. Bend corners, set borders. Niggas fold like rich quarter. Lifelong, but my temp shorter. Only for the bullshit though. Counterfeit niggas, they be full of it though. I don't really hear what you into, nigga. We don't really care what you been through, nigga. I offend you, niggas. Sharp like a quick flat turn in the venue, nigga. Cut right through it like a Jinsu, nigga. If I say that I mean it, and know I'm the meanest and one of the cleanest, I put it together and break it in pieces. I got plenty of time, I got plenty of ideas, you wouldn't believe it. I roll with the lions, you run with hyenas. I'm David inside of a killing arena. For all of my people, I'm giving you all of the smoke. Stop saying the stuff that you won't really wanna live up to. Live by a code, yeah, we stand up too. Say you get money, put bread up too. Saying you dumb, we fed up too. Fed up too, in the league of my own, just leave me alone. They gon' keep talking about me, I just keep going and going and going. It is what you showing, and I'ma keep growing and growing and rocking and rolling and take over loading. I hold a position in any condition, completing the mission. Paying attention, I got a connection to sit in the section. Yeah, I changed. 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 You know I changed. You know I changed. You know I changed. You know I changed. Yeah, I changed. Yeah, I changed.
It's easy to sum it up when you just talk about practice. We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? And we talking about practice.
Buck roll.
Best believe that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Put me anywhere other than one that is not me. It's beef, we strut a nigga block, that's chopped cheese. No peace, the butterfly sting him, that's Ali. You reach, I teach him with the handle, that's Kyrie. Machines you hook like a Roman, that's IV. You a sheep, I'ma go, it's a difference, so watch me. You weak, all hooks, no punches, so block these. They mock me, I just show them how it goes, try to stomach this thug life. They ring got the nose bandana on the grip. Heads coming out the foe, connected from Cali to New York, nigga, so let it go. Made for this, nigga, I eat bars and drink flows, thinking you woke into your third eye peephole. Line for line, this shit too easy, it's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early, this bitch a cheat code. It ain't a game, these niggas lame, they bring a shame. If I'm with an officer, it's a number in his name. We ain't the same, you want the easy pass, tell him change his lane. Shit, I've been through the fire, you can't stand the rain, take an aim. Tell him runner, he can try his best. Drive a car named after me, that's why I'm in the vet. Laugh at these niggas once again, and I ain't break a sweat. Number 1 at everything I do, that's why I'm one west. The Lord's not the God of the dead, so when I die, coming back for my spot, so forever I'm top 3. Just tell him to watch this, janitor with the mop stick. You gon' need a defensive lineman to block this. On point when I bomb shit, 10 for 10 I do not miss. I'm barking with a full bulldog, it is not mixed. They can see that my mind's sick, I don't write, I find shit. I don't like it, then I switch. If I touch it, it's diamond. Tell a bitch that I'm God sent. It ain't because my kicks is built like 5'6". 5'7" is my bitch, dangerous, high risk. I lose it, get another one. You think I'm talking about a girl, I'm talking about another gun. We here now, hey look, it is what it is now. We don't fuck with the house niggas, we burn the crib now. I'm ahead now, and I hope they can hear now. I don't care if you think it's it, nigga, I don't fear clowns. Silences make it sound like raindrop, that's a quiet storm. Get the job done in the view and get fired on. If you niggas standing for nothing, what you dying for? If you put real with real, that's how I was born. Walking this bitch ready for war, I'm in riot form. I want these niggas to see me flex, that's why I am armed. I shouldn't live in the crib, nigga. I should buy a farm to go through this shit so effortless. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3.
Tá puro.
In the belly of the beast, motherfucker, I'm a beast. See this world turn me out. With them toolies, I'm a freak. It's a full moon out. I'm a wolf, a guy I eat. Now I don't deal with fuck niggas, so my nigga keep it brief. I don't trust the white man, I can only trust my right hand. Born up in the war, it's like 03 up in Baghdad. Take you to my hood, where the sun don't really shine at. All we know is go, see we know forgiving toe tags, PTSDs. Come and see how we living, it's a war at the block better. Hide your children, youngin' saw this man get shot now. He don't got no feelings, street turn you to a monsters, man. Watch us make a killing, hit him with that Mossberg. Who that creeping through my window? Heard your girl blowing like this old school Nintendo.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. And what we do is we teach the Black, Hispanic, and Native that they are God's true and only chosen people. With being God's true and only chosen people comes with a set of responsibilities. Comes with a code of ethics, a moral code. That moral code is what keeps us as a nation. It keeps us to love each other, take care of each other. And that's what we seem to forget. That's what we lost as a people, and that's what our enemies, our oppressor, wanted us to lose. They wanted us to lose a sense of self, a sense of nationhood. You know what I'm saying? So with that, you know what I'm saying? We're going to open up the class to any questions. If you have any questions, any questions at all, type them on in. Any questions, type them on in. That is what we're here to do. We are here to answer any and all questions. If you have any questions, type them on in. If you have no questions, we'll get right to it. You know what I'm saying? And I urge you all to share this. Share this, because this is information that needs to come out. You know what I'm saying? Today's subject is about Christmas. Christmas is not a Black culture. This is not what we do. Hispanics and Blacks did not always celebrate Christmas. I know y'all like to believe our oppressor and our enemy does not have a culture, but he does. And Christmas is a part of it. And I'm going to prove that right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to prove that with an article. Then I want to get into some biblical scriptures. You know what I'm saying? I want to get that with some historical facts first. Let me share the screen with you real quick. All right, we're starting off at the History Channel. You know what I'm saying? We're starting off with the History Channel. And it's talking about this event called Saturnalia. Saturnalia is an old event, and we're going to get into it a bit, all right? I know the subject is Christmas, so what am I talking about? Let's observe this picture real quick. You got men being festive with another dude, holding them up, throwing them up. You got a woman half naked, exposing herself, pointing out another dude. I guess she wants to ravish her. You know what I'm saying? This was a wild time right here. This was a wild time. So let's look at Saturnalia. Saturnalia, held in mid-December, is an ancient Roman pagan festival honoring the agricultural god Saturn. So that's what it started off. Saturnalia, as you could tell by its name, was a festival that honored a pagan god, with the Greek Olympus, Saturnalia. It's meant to honor Saturn. If you haven't noticed, all the planets are named after Greek gods because, it's a Greek culture. You know what I'm saying? Saturn was a god before he was a planet. Let's continue. Because of when the holiday occurred, near the winter solstice, Saturnalia celebrations are the source of many of the traditions we now associate with Christmas. See, Saturnalia is the beginning of Christmas. A lot of the customs and culture and things that you do during Christmas come from Saturnalia, or winter solstice. What season are we in right now? We are in the winter. And it was held when? In mid-December? You know what I'm saying? That's the time that we are in right now. Let's continue. Such as wreaths, candles, feasting, and gift giving. All that is pagan celebrations. You know what I'm saying? You got the wreath on the door. You got the candles. You got the feasting, all the eating of the pork you want, which is another culture of theirs. Eating that Christmas ham. You're doing it all. And the gift giving. There is not one Israelite or Black and Hispanic holiday where we're giving gifts. We want to give gifts, we give it out freely on days when we feel like giving them out. Don't have to be a holiday. Don't have to be your birthday. These are days that our oppressor wants us to celebrate, to keep us underneath his thumb. You know what I'm saying? These are his days. Let's continue. What is Saturnalia? Saturnalia, the most popular holiday in the ancient Roman calendar. What is the most
Adding your
popular
own flavor to
holiday?
fashion comes with age.
Block it, y'all.
Hey, Dad, look at
They got
you.
commercials.
Welcome. Hi.
Saturnalia. Saturnalia, the most popular holiday on the ancient Roman calendar. Derived, hold on, what's the most popular holiday on this calendar that we use today? What is more popular than Christmas? You see the spirit, how it transfers from one to the next? Nothing was more popular than Saturnalia in that Greco-Roman Empire. And nothing is more popular than Christmas today. I mean, you can't, like, I try to make it as obvious as I can that I don't celebrate holidays. You don't see me wearing nothing festive all year. Like, I love the flavor and the scent of peppermint. I'm not getting no peppermint cocoa, no peppermint coffee, and I get them often. You know what I'm saying? I just want everybody to recognize that I don't celebrate it. But at the same time, what happens? This season is so popular, people don't care if we celebrate it or not. They're going to tell you happy holidays. And when you tell them you don't celebrate it, they're still going to spin it to some way that it's okay for them to tell you happy holidays. Well, whatever you celebrate. Like, come on. I don't celebrate none of y'all holidays. And us as Black and Hispanic should not be celebrating any of their holidays either. Because as you can see, this is a Greco-Roman holiday that we're speaking of. Who are the Greco and the Romans? Who are the Greeks and the Romans? The Greek and the Romans are our oppressors. They are our enemies. They are what you may call Caucasians, aka white people today. And this Saturnalia is their day. But according to y'all, they don't have no culture. Well, let's continue. Okay, Saturnalia, the most popular holiday on the ancient Roman calendar, derived from older farmer-related rituals of midwinter and the winter solstice, especially the practice of offering gifts and sacrifices to the gods during the winter sowing season. You know what I'm saying? Y'all heard that. The pagan celebration of Saturn, the Roman god of agricultural and time, began as a single day. But by the late Republic, between 133 and 31 BC, so about 102-year span, it had expanded to a week-long festival beginning December 17th. A week long, 7 days between December 17th, starting at December 17th. You know what I'm saying? On the Julian calendar, which the Romans used at the time, the winter solstice fell on December 25th. When did the winter solstice start? December 25th. What day is Christmas? December 25th. Connect the dots, man. Christ was not born on December 25th. And more importantly, Israelites did not celebrate their birthdays, period. That was not their culture. That was Egyptian culture. That was Roman culture. That was Greeks culture. That is not an Israelite's culture. Let's continue. How the Romans celebrated Saturnalia. Wow. Let's get into it a bit. During Saturnalia, work and business came to a halt. Schools and courts of law closed, and the normal social patterns were suspended. Wow. What is happening today in modern times during Christmas? During Christmas, work and business comes to a halt. Work and business comes to a halt. You cannot work on Christmas unless you're called an essential personnel, which means you have to come. That's nurses, doctors, security guards, so forth and so on. But the majority of the work and business comes to a halt. Guess what else comes to a halt? Schools. You got school vacations. School vacations all Christmas. Like a couple of days before Christmas and all the way to like mid-January, past the New Year's. Well, not mid-January, but beginning of January, but past New Year's. You know what I'm saying? Schools come to halt, and courts and law closed. Like this brother's going to do some things on the 22nd. They're going to do some crap on the 22nd, and they are praying for a hearing before the 24th. They are praying for a hearing before the 24th, so they can get out and celebrate Christmas with the rest of our enemy. And the normal social patterns were suspended. All our social patterns end up being suspended. Everything that is a normal thing ends up being put on a hold. You know what I'm saying? People decorated their homes with wreaths back then during Saturnalia. Wreaths, which is a bunch of pine twigs wrapped together to make a circle. Nothing changed. And other greenery, like you're putting greenery in your house, like greenery don't belong outside, and shed their traditional togas in favor of colorful cloths known as synthesis. Like they got rid of the white togas because togas are supposed to be all white, but during that day, they put on their colorful clothes known as synthesis. Let me tell you something. That's that ugly Christmas sweater that you buy, that you about to rock at work. That's what that is. Even enslaved people did not have to work during Saturnalia. Wow. Guess what? When you was a slave, you did not have to work during Christmas. When you was a slave, They gave you all the best pig feet and hog maw and chitlins they can. You got the right to party on Christmas, just like the slaves back then had the right to party during Saturnalia. And guess what? Those slaves are the same people. Those slaves are the exact same people. Let's continue. But were allowed to participate in the festivities. In some cases, they sat at the head of the table while their masters served them. Oh, wow. Roles were switched on that day. Ooh, y'all were excited. Ooh, you probably fought and killed each other to sit at the head of that table so master could serve you. He probably pit y'all up against each other so that y'all could kill each other so that he can serve y'all. That's why the Bible's important. That's why the scriptures is needed. You know what I'm saying? So we won't be fighting and killing each other just for some attention from our enemies. Let's continue. Instead of working, Romans spent Saturnalia gambling, singing, playing music, feasting, socializing, and giving each other gifts. What's going on? What's going on during Christmas? You got the Christmas football games, you got the Christmas basketball games, and bets are being made. You got people singing fa la 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 in front of your front door. You know what I'm saying? All Christmas, you got people playing music. You know what I'm saying? That sister Mariah Carey, that's where she make the bulk of her money is during Christmas because she made one Christmas song and that one Christmas song has gotten her filthy rich. Feasting, y'all gonna eat that Christmas ham. Y'all gonna eat all that nastiness that comes with Christmas. Y'all gonna be gluttonized, just eating till your bellies is full, till y'all fall asleep and everything. You know what I'm saying? And giving each other gifts. Y'all gonna be giving each other gifts. How does not Saturnalia sound like Christmas to you? How doesn't it sound like Christmas? But let me tell you something. I'm going to read a little further, but Saturnalia, and they start with the Romans or the Greeks. It goes a little further back, but we're going to get into it. On the last day of Saturnalia's celebration, known as Sigillaria, many Romans gave their friends and loved ones small terracotta figurines known as signallaria, which may have referred back to older celebrations involving human sacrifice. So human sacrifice is involved in Saturnalia. Let's continue. Saturnalia was by far the jolliest Roman holiday. Wow, they had to bring that word into it. Wow, the jolliest. It's the jolliest Roman holiday. The Roman poet Catullus famously described it as the best of times. Like Saturnalia was the best of times. They were just wilding out. So riotous were the festivities that the Roman author Pliny reportedly built a soundproof room so that he could work during the raucous celebrations. Back then, you think soundproof is a modern invention? Nah, this brother built this. This devil built himself a soundproof room. That's how riotous, that's how rambunctious, that's how loud. And you're gonna have Christmas with your family. I know I've been there before. It's gonna get so loud. You're gonna seek a moment of peace and quiet. You won't be able to find it. So that little closet that you have, try to make it soundproof. Maybe you get in that little closet Get your phone, close it, make sure it's nice and soundproof, and get it in. Enjoy a moment of peace. And I feel sorry for you, brother, that's trying to enter the truth and got to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all won't have to deal with this regardless. But y'all see the articles in history.com. Topics: Ancient Rome, Saturnalia. Get into it. Learn the customs of Saturnalia. See how it connects to Christmas. Because that's exactly what Christmas is. Christmas literally is Saturnalia. It literally is Saturnalia. No doubt about it. But let's get with it. Let's get with it. Let's start. Let's go to let's start off with Jeremiah 10 and 5. Let's get with Jeremiah 10 and 5. No. Let's not start off with 5. Let's start off with 1. Let's start off with 1. All right. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the words which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. So these are the words that the Most High wants us to hear. And he is telling us these words. All right. He gave these words to Jeremiah to speak unto us. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. Man, do not. See, that's the problem. Like, I just proved that Christmas is Saturnalia. I proved Christmas is Saturnalia. It is not an Israelite culture. It's not a Black, Hispanic, or Native people's culture. I bring it even further. It's not an Asian's culture. It's not like blah, 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 but they don't have this law. This law is only for Black, Hispanic, and Native people. And let's read it from the top again. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. We should not be learning the ways of the heathen. What is the ways of the heathen? The ways of the heathen is their culture, is their way of life, the way they think, the way they behave, the way they act. And how do they act? How do they act? They celebrate Saturnalia. And there are a bunch of sexual deviance and sexual activities happening during that holiday. Just like on Christmas, a bunch of sexual deviancies happening during Christmas. And us following their ways, you got that sick, perverted uncle sitting probably the closest to the little kid table. Put it like this. If we did not celebrate Christmas, if we did not celebrate our enemies' holidays and our enemies' way of life, if we did not participate in that at all, right? How many of our brothers and sisters would not have been touched by that sick uncle that we invite to every holiday festivity? How many children would have been saved from that? Now, let me tell you something about Israelite culture. Our holidays are not family celebrations, no. Our holidays are nation celebrations. And our nation comes together and celebrate these holidays. Now, we just got out of the Feast of Hanukkah. Granted, it's not a high holy day. It's a memorial. But in that memorial, the nation comes together to remember a time when the Greeks polluted our temple. And our men had to step up and battle the Grecians, conquered and won, and renewed the temple of the Lord. Now, during that celebration, do you think any sick perverts were willing to attack any kids? Now, mind you, you got these men of the Lord all around. And when I tell you, men of the Lord in those days, they were not like men of the, well, they were not like Christian men. Christian men are soft, weak, sensitive. Men of the Lord were warriors, killers, conquerors, barbarians. That's what men of the Lord was. So you think you're going to touch a little kid around them? And that's how it should be today. Every feast day and holiday we celebrate should be as a nation where our children will be safe. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. Be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. Like every Christmas, they talk about the stars, the stars, the stars, and how the three holy men, what they call them, three wise men. They only call them holy men. Three wise men looked up at the stars to find Christ. Let me tell you something. They used the stars for what they were used for. Stars wasn't used for those zodiac or horoscopes, no. They were used for navigation. And they navigated their way to where they needed to be. That's all the stars was used for then, for navigation. There's nothing holy or special about that bright North Star. No, nothing. Those men got to where they needed to be by using a navigational trick that been passed down generation from generation. It's nothing new. So don't be amazed at the stars. Don't be up there gazing at the stars like they do, like it's something special. No, don't do as they do. Remember, it started off, don't follow the ways and custom of the heathens. Chinese zodiac, the Greek zodiac, all these zodiacs or astrology doesn't, hiccups, doesn't matter. All that astrology doesn't matter. What you need to do is follow the laws of the Bible. Plain and simple. Let's continue. For the heathen are dismayed at them. Like the heathen is dismayed at them. They are astounded by the stars. That's why they are focused on the star. That's why Donald Trump started a space force, because he is dismayed by the stars. Don't be dismayed by the stars. The stars are not a threat to you. They're not a worry. Don't be dismayed by the stars, man. Plain and simple. Let's continue. For the customs of the people are vain. Listen, the custom of those people, vain, pointless, useless. There's no point in following their customs. There's no point in following the customs of Saturnalia. I know you like to believe our enemy don't have a culture, but listen, Christmas is their culture. It's not yours, black man. It's not yours, Hispanic man. It's not yours, Native man. Christmas is their culture. What are you celebrating? You are culturally appropriating their culture. Get away from it. Get away from it. If you continue celebrating it, then you're no different than them. You are no different from them. Let's continue. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest. Wow. This is what they're doing during Saturnalia. One cutteth a tree out of the forest. Wow. One was cutting a tree out of the forest. When are you cutting down trees today? if you're not doing it commercially. They say for those who make lumber for houses and paper for, wood for paper. No, this is talking about those who do it residentially, not commercially. Who is cutting a tree out of a forest? Let's continue. The work of the hands of the workman with an axe. Now, this is something that a lumberjack should be doing, but you average Joe Smalls is doing it. Let me tell you, this is New England. This is New England. From Connecticut all the way up to Maine is very common and popular for people to grow little pine tree farms, little evergreen tree farms. And if you want a tree, you could come, do the work yourself and cut it down and pay them for the tree. You did all the work. You're retarded, but you paid for the tree. That's the same thing this is talking. That's what you're doing, the work of the worker with an axe. You're doing the work of the workman with an axe. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. They deck it. Hold on. They deck it. What does deck it mean? They are decorating this tree. How are they decorating this tree? Let me tell you something. Just like they sing deck the halls, they also deck the tree because the tree's in the hall. Let's see how they decorate it. All right. They deck it with silver and gold. Wow. I know you remember as a kid those little strings, the little foil strings you used to throw up on the tree. You didn't want to. You know what I'm saying? You thought it was the most boring thing on the planet, but you still did it because it was part of the festivities. You just hoping that you could be the one to put the star on the top of the tree, and you wasn't. You always gave that to the youngest person. So you throw the tassels and all those ornaments on the tree, and what's the majority of the color of those ornaments and the majority of the colors of those strings? The majority of those colors is silver and gold. Back then, they were using real silver and real gold. Real silver and real gold. But today, nah, not so much. Not so much. Today, they're not using real silver and real gold. No. Today, they're using things that look like real silver and look like real gold. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not. So they secured this tree. They fastened it, bang, bang, bang. They made sure it didn't move. Let me tell you something. That little stand that you got in there that you pour water in, that's the way that's a modern way of fastening it. That's the modern way of fastening the tree down. You put it up in there, you make sure that the pressure is even, that it's not leaning. Bang, 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 the tree don't move. I understand. But back then, what they did, they put 2 wood planks underneath it, bang it under there, make sure it's nice and flat and even. Make sure it had a nice, strong base. That's what they did back then. They fastened it with hammers and nails. Inside of a house, like how remedial do you have to be to put a tree inside of a house? Do trees belong inside of a house? This is not Black culture. This is something that they do. Only they do idiotic stuff like this. They taking trees that inhabit all types of animals and bringing it inside the house. Like I remember watching a Christmas movie. I forgot the name of it, but the squirrel jumped out, and like that's highly possible. I wonder how many times that actually happened. You know what I'm saying? Y'all chopping down trees as if it's something special. And y'all dragging it in the house as if it's something special. Guess what y'all doing? Y'all worshiping that tree. Y'all need to bring that idol inside the house. So y'all can make an altar and put gifts underneath it. That's what y'all doing. Now that altar that y'all put gifts under, guess what? Y'all giving up gifts to y'all God. Y'all God of Saturnalia. Y'all pagan gods. Let's continue. Verse 5. They are upright as a palm tree. So when they fastened it with nails and hammers, the tree stood upright like a palm tree. You know what I'm saying? It was strong. But speak not. They must needs be born because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good. Like the reason why you celebrate these holidays is because of fear. Like I would like to, you feel like the tree could do evil. No, that's old ways. Old ways. We are too modern for that. Nobody out here is fearing a tree. But what you want to know what you are fearing? You're fearing grandma. You fear grandma won't love you no more because you're not celebrating with her. You fear your children won't love you no more. Let those fears go. If they choose not to, that's on them. Your objective is to follow the laws of the Lord. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's go to the next scripture. Bear with me one sec. Let's go to Joel 1:14. No, that's not it either. There it is. Amos 5:21. How did I forget that? Go to Amos 5:21. Amos chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast days. What is our biggest feast day today? What is our biggest feast day today? I say our because we celebrate it. It don't really belong to us, but it's ours because we celebrate it like we do. It is ours because it is the biggest day of the year for us. It is ours because we adopted it like it is ours. And when you adopt something, you got to treat it like it is yours. If you adopt a child, you got to treat it like it is your child. We adopted our enemy's culture and customs. And that's what we did. But let's continue. I hate and I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Let me tell you something. The Most High don't care about the days you celebrate. He don't care about your Thanksgivings. He don't care about your Valentine's Day. He don't care about your Christmas. He don't care about your Mother's Days. Those are your days. The Most High gave us days for us to celebrate. He gave us our holy days, which you can find in Leviticus 20. It's not hard to find. It's right there in Leviticus 20. He even gave us a few memorials. We got a couple of memorials. Those ain't mandatory. But our holy days are mandatory. You better get there. Like you see this back shot. This back shot is a flyer for a holy day. The 55th Lord's Passover. This is not the ISUPK's Passover, no. The ISUPK is just hosting it. This is the Lord's Passover, since his people started becoming awakened to the knowledge of who we are. Since 1969. This is the 55th Passover. Don't get it misconstrued. Salakia. Let's drop that. Let's get let's get Matthew 15 and 9. Let's get Matthew 15 and 9 real quick. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandment of men. Like, y'all really do believe that this is a holiday that is honoring Christ, when I just showed you evidence that this is a holiday that was around before he was. So y'all believe y'all are doing something, but y'all doing it in vain. Y'all are worshiping Christ in vain. And this is what Christianity promotes. Don't sleep. Christianity knows what it's doing. It promotes this. It promotes this ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Especially of Saturnalia. It promotes the ignorance of Saturnalia because the simple fact is, as long as y'all don't know about Saturnalia, y'all going to still believe that that white boy y'all think is Jesus was born on December 25th. So now y'all are practicing Saturnalia, a pagan holiday, and worshiping false gods. This is the world that we live in, y'all. This is how they do it. Don't sleep. Let's start that from the beginning again. Salakia. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandment of men. Like, what's the doctrine, the commandment of men? Like, Christmas has become such a social norm that the world looks at you weirdly if you don't celebrate it. Customs of men is the doctrine of men. The custom of Christmas is a doctrine of man. The custom of Thanksgiving is a doctrine of man. The custom of New Year's is a doctrine of man. The custom of Valentine's Day, Easter, St. Patrick's Day, every day as a black man you celebrate, even Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa ain't a holy day. That's a doctrine of man. So what you got to do? You got to get up out of this these customs. You got to wake up a little bit. Just wake up a little bit. Ask a few questions. Ask some questions. Where did this custom come from? Where did this mistletoe custom come from? This wreath. You know what I'm saying? This Christmas tree. The Christmas tree goes back as far as Babylonian times, when the mother of Nimrod wanted people to worship her son. So she would cut down an evergreen tree. You know what I'm saying? Because her son was buried underneath the evergreen tree. So she would cut down an evergreen tree, post it up, and stick his enemies' heads on top of the evergreen tree. What do you think that Christmas tree is? The Christmas tree is an evergreen tree. No part of the year, unless you not watering it, will it ever go brown. So it's an evergreen. Evergreen tree's been around. Y'all following that culture. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people. Well, let's drop that. Let's go to Mark 17, I believe. No, not Mark 17. What I got down here? Mark 15. Go to Mark, no, Mark 7. Mark 7. Let's start with verse 5. Mark 7 and 5. And let's get with it, so you can understand the true history of behind Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Then the Pharisees and the scribes asked him, why walk not thy disciples according to the tradition of the elders, but the bread with the unwashing hands? So the Pharisees come up to Christ, asking him why ain't he washing his hands, you know, and doing as the tradition of his elders. You know why? Because the disciples, and they were hungry at that time, but Christ, being the skilled man that he is, he breaks it down skillfully. And this is what you need to use when you come to your parents or your grandma when they tell you about the traditions of Christmas and the tradition of the holiday that they celebrate. Your grandma knows about the tradition as a slave. She knows all of that. And she's going to mention that to you. This is your comeback. Watch. Verse 6, he answered and said unto them, well hath Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honoreth me with their lips. Like y'all honor Christ with your lips. That's what Christmas is about, honoring Christ, and y'all doing it with your lips. Y'all not actually honoring Christ by celebrating what y'all believe to be his birthday. No. Well, let's continue. And mind you, if you have any questions, type them on in. We ain't scared of questions. We ain't scared of smoke. Breathe. Let's hear it. The people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Like when you're celebrating Christmas, your heart is far from Christ. When you're celebrating, you know, Thanksgiving, Easter, Valentine's Day, all those other things, guess what? Your heart is far from Christ. Let's continue. Verse 7, howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandment of men. Like, how you worshiping Christ and you're teaching about Christmas? How you worshiping Christ and you're teaching, like, the Catholic Church literally came out, what, yesterday or today? I think it was yesterday. They came out with, they're going to honor The Catholic Church, which is the father of Christianity, as the religion as we see it today, said they're going to honor same-sex marriages. They will facilitate it. They will do all the things they need to do. So that means the LGBTQ is allowed in the Catholic Church. They already allowed in the Christian church. You know what I'm saying? So Christianity actually beat out the Catholic Church on that note. But the Catholic Church was obvious about their homosexuality since the beginning. That's why there's so many pedophiles in the Catholic Church touching on little boys. You know what I'm saying? But let's get with it. Let's continue. For laying aside the commandment of God. Did y'all read the first scripture I read? Y'all remember that? Follow not the way of the heathen. That's a commandment of God. Christmas is a way of the heathen. Birthdays are a way of the heathen. And all these holidays that we celebrate in this hell that we call America, they are ways of the heathen. All of them. Every last one of those ways, or every last one of those days are ways of the heathen. So when you celebrate them, you are going against the commandment of God. Let me read that again. For laying aside the commandment of God. You are putting aside the commandment of God just to make your grandma happy. You are laying aside the commandment of God just to make your kids happy. You are laying aside the commandment of God just to make your woman happy. Stop it. Grow up. Christmas is not a necessity. If I get a scent of somebody that's trying to force me to celebrate Christmas, I call it separation. Get ready to cause that separation. Me and my family have separation because of these holidays. My family ain't trying to let go of these holidays. I may talk to my sisters and my brothers and my aunts and uncles on some BS. Some how you doing today? What's going on with you? But when they talk about these holidays, I'm nowhere near. My family literally had a get together in Philly. Literally a family reunion in Philly. Guess when it was? It was on Thanksgiving. Think I came? Nah. I'm not coming. And the crazy part is they plan these things as if it's going to be cheaper. The holidays is when things get more expensive. No, I'm not going. No, I'm not going. But let's continue. As the washing of pots and cups. Like remember, they talking about washing hands. Christ talked about, washing of pots and cups. Yes, it's a tradition of men. You know what I'm saying? Which may seem harmless, but there's an important matter that may like y'all think celebrate Christmas is harmless, celebrate Easter and all these other things are harmless, but there's a bigger issue at hand, and let's get with it. That they may keep, hold on, Salakian, washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things ye do. Like you follow the traditions of man, you wash your hands, these Pharisees wash their hands. You know what I'm saying? They washed the pots, the cups. They did all this. You know what I'm saying? They also celebrated Saturnalia. They celebrated the days of our enemies, just like you're doing today. You're celebrating Christmas. You're eating the Christmas hand. You know what I'm saying? Thanksgiving. New Year's, you're doing all this. Yeah, it may seem harmless to you, but let's continue. And he said unto them, for well ye reject the commandment of God. Like, you're doing all this stuff, and you know full well you are rejecting the commandment of God. Know how he knows that you know? Because I'm right now telling you. I'm right now telling you that you are rejecting the commandment of God. God said, follow not the way of the heathen, but you continue to celebrate Christmas. We as a people should let Christmas go. But let's take it away from holidays. Guess what? Democracy is their culture. Oh, y'all believe white people have no culture. Guess what? Democracy is their culture. Social norms is a part of culture. And their social norm is to vote. You are taking part of their social norm. Democracy, voting is a sin. Remember, God ain't about democracy. God is all about do as he says. There's nothing democratic about God. Let's continue. That ye may keep your own traditions. You are doing this. You are rejecting the commandment of God so you could keep Thanksgiving, so that you could keep Christmas, Valentine's Day. Oh, man, Mother's Day. Oh, y'all never let Mother's Day go. Y'all doing this so y'all rejecting God's commandments so y'all could keep the traditions of your enemies. How disgusting is that? How vile is that in your eyes? Or do you just think it's not a big deal? It's just a small thing. Well, let me tell you something. You're destroying your own people, man. You are destroying your own people and yourself by doing so. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. For laying aside the commandment of God, ye hold the traditions of men. Oh, Salaki, I read that. Let's drop that. Let's get 1 Corinthians 12:2. Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2. Let me tell you, if you got any questions, type them on in. Believe me, we're not scared of the smoke out here. You got smoke, type it on in. You got questions, type them on in. We're not the Christian church. We answer questions genuinely and through the scriptures. But let's continue. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2. Ye know that you were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols. Let me tell you something. God's going to leave you up to your lusts and your desires. You want to celebrate Christmas go so bad, you think he's going to fight for you not to? Or you want to do it, go ahead and do it. See, you got to see God like a father. Like a father. Like you could tell your kids, hey, don't play with that socket. Don't play with that socket. Now, the socket is a very low current. Anybody can live through it. They play with the socket, guess what? They're going to feel that pain. They're going to feel that pain. And if they die, well, they should have listened to you in the first place. And that's how God sees it. That's how God sees it. You may think it's so small, but if it kills you, you think it's going to hurt the Most High? You think the Most High going to be worried about it? No. Most High will not be worried about it because you wasn't listening to his laws, statutes, and commandments in the first place. Let's continue. Ye know that ye were Gentiles. What does it mean, ye were Gentiles? I thought we were Israelites. Well, let me tell you something. Contrary to the Christian church, Gentile does not mean evil people. The Christian church have you believing that Gentiles mean evil people, and no, Gentile just means a nation that is not Israel, just like heathens. Heathen means a nation that is not Israel. Now, how are you, as a nation that is Israel, how can you be a Gentile? Well, it's simple. You are practicing Christmas. That's not an Israelite culture. That's not our custom. So for you to be a Gentile, that means you must be following the ways of the heathen. You're following the outsider's way. You're following our enemy's ways and culture. You're not following the ways and culture that was given to us from our power. Our power told us how to live. Our power gave us rules on how to govern ourselves as a people. And guess what? Our enemies took those rules, flipped them, twisted them, and used them to benefit himself. And you don't see how we following them correctly could benefit us. That's wild, man. That's wild. It's a little bit crazy to me. It's a little bit crazy. But let's get with it. Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away with these dumb idols. You are carried away with Christmas. You are carried away with Easter. You are carried away with Thanksgiving, 4th of July. You know how I know you carried away with it? Know how I know you carried away with it? When somebody speaks against it, guess what your response is? It's tradition. My grandmama celebrated this. And none of us are dead today. You come up with a whole bunch of excuses to continue celebrating it. Oh, it's about the kids. It's about the kids. It's about the kids. Guess what? Kids will be A-okay without Christmas. They'll be A-okay. Let me tell you something. Kids are about as concerned about Christmas as they are concerned about their own survival. What does that mean? They are not. If Christmas disappears, guess what? They will survive. They don't know what helps them live, what helps them get them day by day. Children don't know that. Their survival means nothing to them. Guess what? It's the parent's job to worry about the child's survival. It's the parent's job. Just like it's the parent's job to teach them about the social norms that they are supposed to follow. Now, the cultural appropriation that we practice as Black people by celebrating Christmas should be announced. Black people celebrating Christmas. Hold on. Let me switch it up a bit. Black woman with blonde hair and blue eyes trying to impress some dude. That is cultural appropriation. But is it as bad as cultural appropriation as Black people celebrating Christmas? No, it's not. Black people celebrating Christmas is the biggest form of cultural appropriation you could think of. It is us putting on a literal white face. Yes, it's true. Saint Nick, the original Saint Nick, is Black. But who made it a holiday? Who made it a holiday? Who made it a day of celebration? It wasn't us. It wasn't Black people. It was our enemy. And we have to recognize that we are following our enemy more than we should. We should recognize that we are following our enemy more than necessary. So I'm going to call it out. Everything that we do is cultural appropriation. Look at me right now. I'm cultural appropriating right now. What do you mean? Let me tell you something. I'm speaking English. That's not my people's language. It's not. My people's language is Hebrew. Do I know it? I do. Am I fluent? No, I'm not the most fluent. But I know it. I know it. You know what I'm saying? I know enough that I might be able to carry on probably a 15-minute class. But let me tell you something. I still continue to speak English, just like you continue to celebrate Christmas. Why am I continuing to speak English? Because that's the cultural appropriation that you do too. And I got to reach out to you. I got to let you know that you are culturally appropriate. You think your enemy don't have a culture. He does. And everything about his culture, we follow. Everything about it. Let's talk about it. Why do black people sell drugs? Are we the original drug sellers in this world? Why do we sell drugs? I see we got a few people in the class. Why do black people sell drugs? I know y'all too scared to answer, so let me say it. Black people sell drugs because we are scared of poverty. We hate poverty. We fear it. We don't want to be in it. It's not our way. We are not a poor people by nature. Even the scriptures say we are rich. Even though we are broke as can be, but we are rich. You know what that means? Poverty is not us. But our oppressor puts us in it. Now, Pete, since poverty is not us, and we sell drugs to get out of poverty, does that mean selling drugs brings us back to our culture? No. Because why do we want to get out of poverty right now? Do we want to get out of poverty to come back to our culture? Or do we want to get out of poverty to live like our oppressor? We want to get out of poverty to live like our oppressor. That's why we want to get out of poverty, to live like him. And that's not what we should be doing. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? So we have a whole bunch of excuses after that. Oh, I'm just trying to feed my kids. All right, your kids are eating. Why do you continue to sell? Why don't you get a regular job now? Why don't you get a regular slavery like everybody else? Know why? Because you want to be like our oppressor. You want to keep up with the Joneses. Our oppressor made this country by scheming, killing, doing a whole bunch of evils. And we think we could get out of this hell by following his footsteps. And we cannot. And we cannot. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. Let's get actually, hold on. Because I know a lot of y'all might be agreeing with me right now. Let's go to Deuteronomy 13 and 8. Y'all might be agreeing with me right now. Y'all might be like, yeah, he right. He right. We're living messed up. We're living this life that's not us. You might be agreeing with me. But then you're going to have to come up against another battle. You might actually want to live this life righteously. You might actually want to follow Christ. But then there's a hurdle that you have to get over. What is that hurdle? The hurdle you have to get over is our enemy and his oppression that you make on your family. That is the hardest thing to get over in this truth. It's the impressions your enemy makes on your family. The culture he pushes on your family. Yeah, you got over it. That don't make it easy for everybody else to. You know what I'm saying? So let's get with it. Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 8. Thou shalt not consent unto him. Who is that him that he's talking about? The him is your grandma. The him is your mother, your father. Don't consent unto them. Let's continue. Nor hearken unto them, nor hear them out. Don't hear those people out. Don't hear your cousins out. Don't hear your nieces out. Don't hear your nephews out. Don't hear your children out. Don't hear them out. Because they're going to be pleading with you to sell it. Come over for Christmas. Come over for Thanksgiving. Come over for New Year's. Come over for Easter. Come over for 4th of July. Come over for Veterans. They're going to have a bunch of pleading with you. Don't hear them out. Do not hear them out. Let's continue. Neither shall thine eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him. Like, yo, they're gonna come at you. They're gonna come at you with all types of smoke. That's what you should do. Let them know. That's what you should do. Let them know. Let them know what they're doing. Let them know the history of what they celebrate. Let them know how it's white culture and not theirs. Let them know how they're culturally appropriated. Because black people hate the fact that everybody culturally appropriates off of them, but never notice how much we're culturally appropriating off of everybody else. Let them know. Let them know. Speak out on it. Talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Point out their ways, and maybe they might hear you. Hold on. Hold on. I got another scripture to add to this. Hold on. That's not it. Hold on. Go to Isaiah 58 and 1. This is like a bedrock scripture. This is like something that should be getting you up in the morning. This should be a motivational tool. You know what I'm saying? Let me talk to you. Cry aloud. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm crying aloud. I'm begging to all Black, Hispanic, and Native to stop celebrating Christmas. Stop celebrating holidays. Stop voting. Stop sleeping with women, with other men's women. Stop, you know what I'm saying, doing the things that they do. Stop doing what they do. Period. I'm crying aloud saying that. Spare not. I'm not considering your feelings as I say it. I'm not considering your feelings as I say it. So I'm not sparing nobody. Let's hear it. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet. I'm being loud about it. I'm not, this ain't the way. No, I'm being loud about it. Stop being like them. Let's continue. and show my people their transgressions. Let me tell you something. You celebrating Christmas is a transgression against God's law. What's a transgression against God's law? That is literally a sin. You are sinning against God. So I gotta lift up my trumpet, and I gotta lift up my voice like a trumpet. Sparing not. You know what I'm saying? And pointing out the transgressions that we are doing as a people. You know what I'm saying? This is something that we are doing as a people. I'm not taking myself out of it. I used to practice Christmas. I used to buy gifts and hand them out and things. I used to do the same thing. I'm telling you, it's not the way. We have God's laws are so much better than this world. Imagine a feast, a holiday, where it's literally a party for 7 days, nonstop. Imagine that. You think our enemies' celebrations can compete? No. No, they can't. In the house, point out and show my people their transgression, in the house of Jacob their sins. That's what we're doing, because transgression is a sin, and we're trying to show you where you're going wrong. And celebrating our enemies' holidays is where you're going wrong, man. I know it's hard to turn down grandma. I know, I understand all that. But at the same time, you have to do it. You have to literally do it. You know what I'm saying? And with that, I'm going to end the class. You know what I'm saying? Hit up the Isupk, Israelite School of Universal and Practice, and Universal and Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohana. And what we do is we teach the Black, Hispanic, and Native people the true laws and statutes, the commandments of the Bible, which guides us to love and take care of each other. We have a Passover coming up April 20th, man. April 20th. Let me black myself out of it. April 20th. Man, pay that $200 fee, man. You get all the festivities with it. All the festivities with that $200. You get to the black party free. You get into the slaughter of the lambs, man. You get into all that for free. The kids' parties, all that for free. And it's going to be going down in Durham, North Carolina. Yes, you're going to have a bunch of people that do not celebrate the white man's holidays in Durham, North Carolina. And that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? So get in. If you need more information, hit me up. You see my number is going to be at the bottom of the screen, man. My number is going to be right at the bottom of the screen. You see that right there? 617-372-2112. Hit me up. I'll hook you up with all that information to help you get on in. You know what I'm saying? So with that, shalom.